Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the garden. Today we're back out in the yard. Well, we've got something excited. First of all, we've got a package. I finally got my package from Dixondale Farms. Now, I will be the first one to admit I am not the best at growing onions and leeks. I've had marginal success, but it's just one of those things, it's just you have to plan ahead and to really just get it down. And admittedly, I did not plan ahead this year. So basically, in the past, I've winter sowed onions, and I had a pretty good success with that, getting them started really early in winter sowing containers. Ideally, onions need to be started the year before in the fall and allowed to overwinter to gain some size before you transplant them into the garden in the springtime. I've had also marginal success with onion sets, but for me, onion sets are just kind of like, meh, I don't really like them. I'd rather just grow from seed. But regardless, I've failed to do that this year, so I made an order to Dixondale Farms. If you're unfamiliar, Dixondale Farms is a place in Texas. They specialize in onions and leeks, and I think that's about it. As far as I've seen, one of you guys actually recommended Dixondale Farms for me for onion transplants. So that's what I did. I made an order. Here in Zone 6B7, I am supposed to grow intermediate day onions to get the best results. So, of course, before you order onions, always make sure to know what type you're supposed to be growing. I also picked up some leeks. I absolutely love leeks. So it'll be interesting if I can finally successfully plant some leeks this time around. We'll see. But breaking into this box, I am so pleasantly surprised with how everything is packaged. Everything looks really great. I am not disappointed at all. I should also mention that these transplants are seriously just so reasonably priced. It's definitely worth it. I think shipping was free too, so I have literally no complaints about this. This is awesome. I purchased the intermediate day sampler pack, so it's like got candy onion in it. It's got some kind of red onion. I think that might be the candy one. It's got a yellow onion and a white onion, I want to say. I only purchased one bundle. I think one bundle has like 60 to 80 transplants in it, so that should be plenty for my small garden, especially since I don't have very much space. So before heading out to the yard to transplant these, the first thing I needed to do was checked my local agriculture extension to see that it was safe to transplant these onions. Onions and leeks in general are pretty cold tolerant. They can be planted out usually before the last frost date, depending on where you live, of course. You're going to have to check and see what date is most appropriate for you. For me, I can put plants out at the end of March. Next, I needed to find a location in the garden, and man, that was a major pain. This clay soil of mine in the backyard is really just wasting away. It is eroding away. I don't know what to do. I've tried amending it. I've amended it. I've added, organic matter to it. I've done everything I can think of. It's just the water table's high right here. This is heavy clay, and it's a mess every time it rains. But I'm going to amend it again and try to build it up as best as possible, and that's all we can hope for, I guess. Got to make do with what we got right now, that's for sure. So after I have just added a lot of organic matter to this and compost and really worked it up, all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of my black landscape fabric. That's very important that I use this landscape fabric. It's going to help keep down the weeds. And obviously keeping down the weeds is a major thing when it comes to growing something like onions, because let's just face it, onions, with the weeds in my yard, these onions aren't going to be able to compete. So we want to make sure that these are just, have the best chance possible at success. In addition to the compost that I've also added some seabird guano pellets to this garden bed. That are high in nitrogen. I'm going to start feeding these onions, getting them growing, getting them nice and big, get the foliage nice and big before they start bulbing up when the right day length hits. So I'm just going to carefully transplant these into the yard. I don't know what else to tell y'all. To transplant the leeks, I'm just going to use a stick to poke a hole in the ground. I'm going to lightly put those leeks in there and then water that really well. And over the next couple weeks, we hope that these onions start to, take root and take place, get growing. and we'll have some awesome, really nice looking onions. I think I ended up, spacing these about 4 to 6 inches apart, maybe. Just kind of a rough guess. I don't measure nothing in my yard. I just kind of eyeball it because, let's face it, I'm not a meticulous person. I just kind of go with the flow. That's really about it for this video. Have you ever grown onions from Dixondale Farms? What was your experience? Do you grow onions from transplants, from sets, from seeds? I'd love to hear all about it down in the comments below. Love learning from you guys. As always, you leave any questions down there too. I try to get around to answering them at least once a week. Sometimes it might be a little bit longer because, I gotta make these videos and work and do all kinds of stuff. So sometimes I don't have time, but I try my best to get to it. If you're new to the channel and you like this video, be sure to subscribe. I absolutely love to have you. Hit that little bell icon. It'll tell you whenever we make new videos. I am making new videos all the time. Right now we're doing a lot of winter sowing, getting ready for the spring garden. Really excited to see what we got, what we're going to do this summer. Really excited for that. So hopefully you can join in with us. Most of my videos are about gardening. Sometimes I do DIY projects, do all kinds of random stuff. But we'd love to have you. I hope that you guys are having such an amazing day. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.